What's on the menu for today?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome in. Welcome back. A rainy Sunday afternoon. We said that last week, but a rainy Sunday afternoon in our neck of the woods here in Eastern Ontario. Again, though, the scoreboards were shining bright across the OUA.
For some teams, other teams didn't really get to light up the scoreboard much at all. We're going to start with a couple of the blowouts and just kind of get them out of the way. Western averaged 10 plus yards a carry through four different running backs. Keon, Woodnaughty, they had two other guys that went for 77 and 104 as well. 66-3 homecoming win over Waterloo on Dwayne Ford Day. Hey, inducted into the Western Football Hall of Fame. But no, it is Dwayne Ford Day, and they definitely ran the ball in his honor. I mean, they were going to run the ball either way. So
four backs averaging nearly 10 yards a carry. Absurd.
Not a first down every time you touch the ball. So yeah, they won 66-3. Waterloo just overwhelmed from the jump. Yeah. Panabaker and Valenti, I think, added interceptions as well. So yeah, Western 66, Waterloo 3. I'm sorry we're speeding through this.
I will say before we move on from the Western one, though, like as much as their ground game or as good as their ground game looked, I do want to give a little bit of a shout out to Evan Hillock. Didn't have to do a whole lot in this game, but what he did do was very impressive. 14 of 18 passing on the day, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns in the game. So, I mean, didn't really have to do much in this one, just turn around and hand the rock off. But I mean, still a great day.
Just probably sat on the bench and waved all the homecoming alumni and said, "Hey guys, thanks. I'll see you at the Vanier Cup. Yeah, thank you. Have a good day." Yeah,
they looked pretty dominant in that one for sure.
The Western Mustangs are looking like the Vanier Cup champions from last year. They're just a lot more refined, polished, experience, which is a key one on offense.
Yeah,
Keon and Hillock and Savon Magne-Jones. But yeah, Justin Nixon's looking like a threat as well downfield. So Western 6-3 win. Yeah, that's a big one.
The next 60-point game.
Queens 62-11 at Guelph's homecoming. Definitely not the way you want to have your homecoming go if you're the Guelph Griffins. They slide to 1-4 with their record on the year. Queens in the fourth quarter, Connor, had a 24-point frame to close it out.
Big day from those Queens Gales, and a massive day from their running back, Anthony Souls. 19 carries, 244 yards.
It baffles me too, Connor.
Hold up.
And 44 yards. Let's leave it in because it is that stunning to see. I had to double take when I saw his stat total come up.
4 touchdowns too. We left that off as we were stunned there by the stat line.
But how about this? James Keenan, we don't know. I was watching the U of T game. I have actually my sweater on for those watching. But I was watching the U of T game. I was not flipping between a bunch of them. But Alex Freakin came in 10-15, 2 touchdowns for your Frontenac Falcon. There we go, Connor.
I mean, we put some athletes out. I will take zero credit there. I just attended the high school.
He did have a negative play though.
Oh no!
The damn kneel down.
Negative 2 yards. Those are the good negative 2 yards.
But no, for Guelph, same situation. You have Isaiah Smith rushing for over 100 yards. Wow. Janusis having a solid day receiving, of course. And then you have 3 quarterbacks playing in your offense. Helfrich went 2 of 14 for 30 yards. Yanchuk and Sean Law combined to go 8 of 12. Guelph is just a quarterback away from being the Guelph Griffins of old. But it's killing them. They punted the ball 8 times for over 300 yards. I don't know. It's a tough season when you have that much uncertainty at quarterback.
I think it's a testament to the Queens defense, though. I mean, they limited the Guelph Griffins to just 11 points on the day. They had 4 sacks in the game. They had an interception as well. So, I mean, that Queens defensive unit, we knew what it was last year with, the star-studded talent that it had, but now we had some questions coming into this season. I think they've firmly been answered.
I would agree with that, Connor. Let's go to the nation's capital, though, the Carlton Ravens. A lot of talk this week about the Windsor Lancers being a top 10 team. We'd kind of discussed that on the Thursday episode of All Canadian. They went into Carlton, 17-point first quarter. Ferguson 1 yard, they forced a safety, a rouge, and then they had a pick six. They jumped on it early and then just kind of maintained, coast, move the ball, and keep going.
Yeah, to me in this game, it really felt like Carlton approached this game going, we know they're going to run the ball with Joey Zorn. That's great. Let's take away everything else. If they can beat us with one player, that's fine. We can live with that. But I think what they did in this one is just completely took away everything that Windsor had outside of Zorn, because he still carried the ball 25 times for 100 yards and a touchdown. But outside of that, if you look at what their quarterbacks did, both of them were held to under 50 yards passing in this game.
Yeah, Josh Shim, 6 of 20 for 47 yards and a pick. That's not a great way to try and win a football game, especially on the road. But Kasim Ferdinand and Denny Ferdinand back for the Ravens this week, and they had their fingerprints all over it. 4 for 59 for Kasim. Denny in the return game had 2 for 86. So they are monsters once they get the ball in their hand. And Carlton, 24-7 over Windsor, pulling them into 3-2.
Good. A little bit of momentum for those Ravens approaching Panda Week. Are we talking about Red Blue Bowl? Is that where we're going with
the
this?
Red and Blue Bowl? You know what? I texted someone. I said I could scream at someone right now about how U of T was playing. Early on, the defense was playing fantastic, and then they started to let the same play action, hit the flat, just start to kill them. And then they get a really big stop. York had a couple plays, then punts that did not go as planned. On the second one, though, in a chance to really pin them deep, huge roughing the kicker call. So York had some life early on. It was 11-0 at half. And then U of T opened it up with the run game. Adam Williams hurt early on in this one after taking a late cheap shot onto the track surface. Doesn't matter. Lucas Stoikos carried the ball.
Did he ever? What a day for Lucas Stoikos. 15 carries, 124 yards, three touchdowns. Another multi-touchdown scoring running back this week. Got to feel good watching that one.
You know what? It was very stressful early on, and then they started to click. Kinsale Phillips,
you were texting me. You're like, run the ball. But
it's baffling. I mean, York has tried to play the same scheme against U of T for the last 6 years. I think I was saying to one of my former teammates, and I said the the sad part is it's the same thing, and every year we have issues with it. But they figured it out. They figured out that if you're running the ball, it doesn't matter if they're sending +1s because you're just running away from half the blitzers anyways. So U of T got to keep the Argo Cup home. Pretty happy. Actually, shout out Mushtaba Mary, the offensive lineman, caught a touchdown and had a very nice celebration.
You're absolutely gonna have to find a clip of that and stick that.
It's on Twitter.
Right here. Absolutely.
I'll send it.
You won't see us talking right now. It's just gonna be the clip rolling.
But yeah, Mushtaba Mary, great catch in the end zone. I guess Junior always has had the hands. So glad to see him get in the end zone in his final bout in the Red and Blue Bowl.
Think he's getting in his brother's ear about that one?
I don't know.
I've got a touchdown. You don't.
Moose is probably hyping him up to begin with. But Connor, it's time to talk about your alma mater, because this was the best game of the week by far, not just because it was actually the closest score, but because of what happened in the fourth quarter.
You're talking about you being stressed out during the Red Blue Bowl, man. I was stressed out all Saturday afternoon. Ottawa was not leading in this game.
They did not lead until 2 minutes left in the game.
Yeah. So you were stressed out. I was stressed out. Nonetheless, I mean, let's talk about Laurier first, I think. I'll not gloat, but I will glow, I should say, about the Ottawa offense a little bit after this. But Taylor Algersma, we've been talking about him all year. Mr. Efficient. 19 of 27, 242 yards, a touchdown. Yes, he had an interception, but in the back and forth games like this, those things are bound to happen. Just distributing the ball all over the field. He had Ethan Jordan going for 82 yards. He had Thorne going for 64 yards. He had Nick Peterman going for 48 yards. On the ground, too, Quentin Scott, 14 carries, 86 yards, and a touchdown. I think Laurier did everything possible that they could have done to win this game. It just came down to Campbell Fair, Ottawa's kicker, absolutely mashing a 55-yard field goal to win the game. I was out of my seat.
It was a bomb. That's the kind of leg that makes some CFL scouts kind of turn and say, "Oh wait, we can hit from midfield with him."
I had to double check to make sure that Campbell Fair wasn't wearing number 10.
They snuck Lewis Ward in and then sent him back to Ottawa in time for last night's game.
Well, no, because Campbell didn't have to get lifted up after it. Lewis would have gotten lifted up.
Honestly, though, Laurier had almost 400 yards of total offense.
Yeah.
But what this Ottawa team comes down to, Connor, we talk about it week in, week out.
Every week.
Paul Simonkinda.
And not just on the ground this week.
No, he had 208 yards of total offense and a score that actually put them back in the game in the third quarter. This Ottawa team, Connor, they're looking like they're going to be contending for a spot in the Yates Cup. When Ben Miracle takes care of the ball, they have such playmakers on the outside. He doesn't have to force things. He can check it down and get a ton of yards. I mean, both of their running backs scored long touchdowns in the passing game.
I think to your point with Ben Miracle there, like, no disrespect, no shade. I just think this has come from experience, but this is the most comfortable I've ever seen him look in the pocket under Ottawa.
Yeah. I mean, and let's not miss out on some credit because Coach Nate Taylor moved to the offensive coordinator role.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of looked at his team and said, all right, what do we do really well? We have JP. When JP gets 20 carries, he wears out defenders and he starts to break guys down.
When he's going, we're going.
We have a really athletic quarterback who has a big arm. Sure, sometimes he misses throws, but he's athletic enough to make a play when it matters. So what do? We run the ball. We get Ben Miracle out on the edge running around as well. And we mix it up. We kind of throw guys here and there. We get our receivers involved in the short game, take our shots when we need to. The time of possession, really even. Penalties, even. The only turnover was Elgersmuth's interception. I'm just so impressed by this Ottawa team when they put it all together in a road game at a homecoming for Laurier.
That's a tough place to play. Laurier homecoming
by this Ottawa GG's team. I think they're probably a top 6 team in the nation. And they're going to keep showing that as we go through the year.
I agree. But to that point, I think that says so much about Laurier without us actually having to say anything about Laurier either.
Yeah. Laurier's going to be a tough out. Whoever draws them in the playoffs, good luck, because that team is going to come in and they are going to make you earn every single yard.
I know this is a present day podcast and we are recapping the weekend, but I just can't help but looking into the future with Laurier and just having a little bit of a smile for what could be next.
Very, very true. And I want to say this game, if we get it in the playoffs again, selfishly, I will be so excited.
Oh man, we'll have to do everything and anything we can to get to that one.
But that's it for this weekend. Both of our alma maters won in exciting fashions. So that makes it a great weekend. I know there's tons of games coming up. Panda game is next weekend. Battle of Waterloo is coming up soon as well. I'm excited to see where this goes as we head down the backstretch now, officially on the back end of our OUA season.
It's been so fast. There's been so much action, but couldn't be happier that we're here. Hope you guys enjoyed the preview. Have a good rest of your weekend. Hope your NFL teams win. Hope your CFL teams won. Take it easy.
What's on the menu for a break to my lawn?